So my name is Alice Rich. I was formerly Alice Miranda. I grew up at 32 Chenery Street in San Francisco, California, with my two sisters and my younger brother, and my mom, who was a single mom, raising 4 kids in this house.
Hi, my name is Yvonne, and I grew up at 32 Chenery Street. I lived there with my mom and my 2 older sisters and my younger brother from the time I was about 10 or 11 years old until I was 18. And I do believe during the time that I lived there that I did experience or witness some paranormal activity. It wasn't till years later that I actually realized that it actually started the night we moved in. We just moved into this house, and my mom had bought this sofa bed love seat. And my sister Alice and I, we just thought it was the greatest thing. So we asked my mom if we could sleep on it. And she said, yeah, whatever, have at it. I mean, we're little kids, we think it's awesome. And so my sister Alice and I know we were like the last ones up, and we were asleep in the living room. And I just remember it getting progressively hot in the living room while we were sleeping. It just started getting hotter and hotter in the middle of our sleep. We opened the window, we opened the blinds, and we're in San Francisco. I don't care what month it was. It just does not get that hot in San Francisco. I mean, not at night, but it was just kept getting hotter and hotter. And we tore the blankets off of ourselves. Like, it was just whatever. Anyway, we wake up in the morning and we're getting yelled at by our mom because we had turned the heater on full blast. We didn't touch the heater. Like, we had just moved in like the day before. We didn't even know how to turn the stupid heater on. It was a wall heater and it was just a knob, but still, we didn't touch it. So not long after that, Alice and I are in the living room and we're watching TV, and we had this old like wooden console television, and I remember it had a cable box on top, and it also had a candy dish on top.
And just out of nowhere, the candy dish came flying forward towards us and landed towards the middle of the 2 of us.
The candy dish literally flew off the table like this, and just went and landed right between the 2 of us. Didn't fall, nobody was running. It literally floated in the air and just landed right between the 2 of us.
We both looked at each other and were kind of shocked that we had just witnessed that.
I remember we looked at each other and we laughed. And then I don't know which one of us like picked it up and we just put it back. And then, you know, throughout the years, like the lights downstairs in the basement, they would go on and off all the time, like whatever. We got used to it. They just go on and off. Little things like that. One experience that I personally had, and I had it by myself. I was a teenager. I was by myself at the house, and I was in my room alone. I remember just all of a sudden feeling like I wasn't alone. All of a sudden, I could feel a presence, and I knew something else was in the room with me, and it was like staring at me. It scared the hell out of me. I jumped up off the bed, ran the hell out of the house, ran across the street. I did not want to go back in. I remember just watching the house, and the lights in the basement were off. And as I'm like staring at the house, like freaked out from across the street, the basement lights just went on. It scared the hell out of me, and I did not want to be in there alone.
My name is Gina Miranda. I used to live at 32 Chenery Street in San Francisco, and my family witnessed what we believe were paranormal activities it while we were living in the house. I didn't have any experiences, like I didn't see anything. The only thing that I felt, the back porch, we would have to go downstairs into the garage to do our laundry, but it shouldn't be as cold as it was because it, you know, the time of day and the weather, but you could feel the coldness every time you would go down to the garage to do your laundry, and you would find stuff rolled up, like, you know, our laundry, you know, like a sweater or whatever. We would be looking for something, and then you would find it later, like, rolled up in a ball. Like somebody just rolled it up in a ball and was hiding it from us.
Hello, I'm Tino Miranda, and my family of close friends know me as Junior, and I grew up at 32 Chenery Street in San Francisco, California, from, you know, 3.5 to about 14 years old, and just want to go over my experiences at that house. I just remember always as a kid, like I always felt, you know, like someone else was in the room with me, always being watched. It was a combination of, you know, the old wooden floors kind of creaking. You know, it was built in the early 1900s, I think it was 1902. I recall this one time, my best friend lived 2 houses up from us, Jeff Horan. He was over all the time, almost every day. I recall we were downstairs in the basement, and we had one of those old school, you know, televisions with the little knob as you turn the channels, like it would make that little clicking sound. And I recall the TV just turning on and off. So we freaked out, ran out the garage.
I used to always go into the garage at 32 Chenery Street, like let's say when I get to the house a little early or something. Specifically, I used to always go rummaging through stuff looking for a comic book. Specifically, a Fantastic Four comic book that Junior said that, you know, he was sure that they had. You know, during any kind of free moments when no one was around, I'd be going through the garage looking for that comic book, you know, trying not to be embarrassed or anything or whatever. So I try to do it on the under. I go into the dirt section where they had a lot of storage stuff, a lot of toys, the girls' toys. But they had like a dollhouse, they had all these different dolls, hair missing, eyelashes, you know, dismembered bodies. Stuff was kind of freaky. I used to actually get really creeped out by it. But, you know, I'd brave it on my own. I'd be like, you know what, I'm gonna look through this stuff and try to find that comic. There was this one time, you know, I may have actually suppressed a lot of these thoughts. So just thinking about it now, it's all like it rushes at me out of nowhere. But these things, I swear to God, they were on the hill. I wasn't touching them because I didn't want to touch those things. Anyhow, I swear that their eyes were opening. And I don't know if it was just the creepiness of their, you know, the little dots on their head, missing the hair and all that. Those little dolls were moving around, like they were moving. And so it really freaked me out. I can't say for sure what was going on right there, but it was definitely something else moving those dolls around. Just thinking about it just like creeps me out, just because those dolls, man, those dolls are, I don't understand how they had any fun with those things.
We had a really small kitchen, and I was slicing cheese. I recall that. And we had a really small kitchen, and, you know, stove to the right is this, you know, built-in cupboard that had a cutting board, and right behind me was a refrigerator. And I'm in a stand-up position, home alone. I believe Jeff was gonna come over. I was waiting for him to come over, and it felt like 2 hands grabbed me from behind by my shoulders, and I'm in the standing position. In a matter of seconds, I'm thrown and slammed to the ground.